Native American spirits. Connect with your Native American spirits, because that's very key. You go down to, like Barnes and Nobles and Borders and a couple other places, they got books that you can go and get, and it'd be like encyclopedia of Native American spirits. That's very key. I think that if you go on the internet, and these are all the Native American, Central America, South America, North America of the goddesses. So we're going to connect with that also, because they ain't nothing but just niggas. You know how that goes. Central America, Mama Shula, Mama Pasha, Koshika, Coco Mama, which is cool. That's what that movie Chocolate was about. The cacao or the cocoa. Anybody saw the movie Chocolate? Oh, yeah. And in there, if you look real close, when she's stocking her store, it's two black men in France stocking her store. And they talk about that damn cocoa. You see what I'm saying? Or that chocolate. You see, that's the black woman shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just like the sweet sperm. You see what I'm saying? You know. So but that's your shit. You know, I turn this around and all.
Peace, what it is. Okay, so in this video, we are going to dissect the concept of being born in sin. Now, to be completely honest, I assumed that was said specifically or verbatim within the Bible, but apparently it's not. Just a quick Google search for born in sin, you know, the Bible verse with born in sin, I couldn't find it. And I mean, maybe someone knows of it where it says that specifically, but as far as I know, I don't see where it says that at. Now, it does say, it's the first one it gives you when you make this search, if and when you make this search. And it's just a random, this is a random Google search. You can go through any, let's get to talking, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you go through, you go to any one of them and they may give you a different list or what have you. Maybe you can find it. I couldn't, but I'll just with this site, quick search, because we're going to really get into this and we're going to really get a better understanding of this. And after watching this video, you'll no longer feel guilty for breathing. Okay. It's especially to, you know, so-called black women. I always say so-called because, you know, we're not black people. We Moors. It is what it is. I'm going to say that in every video.
And the Moors are niggas.
But what I'm saying is that I'm speaking more so to so-called black women, because they're the one who've been more so adversely affected by this narrative of being born in sin and Eve being the original sin. So even when you get hashtag woke, you get hashtag conscious or what have you, and you come to the realization that Adam and Eve were black. And you know what I'm saying? You get that sense of pride as a black woman, you know, so-called. You still get the story of, you know, her being the reasons for the original sins and all that. So it's, you know, it's good and bad at the same time. So essentially what we're going to do today is I'm going to give y'all the understanding that these stories are allegorical and these are mythologies, and I'm going to show you. I'm show and prove what I'm saying with a couple books. So I'm gonna show you the literature in which we will be utilizing today. Because I just got this the other day. This Origins of English Words by Joseph T. Shipley. This is a great book. It was referred to me about 2 or 3 years ago by the brother Gnosis, brother Jamal, Gnosis YouTube channel. Shout out. It's a great etymological dictionary, and I'm going to start there with that book because it has a lot in there. I'm just not really getting into it. And then I'm going to go to this book, you know, because I was... Anyway, so I'm going to go to this book. I'm going to read something. This I'm going to be in this one for a second. It's like 4 pages of this book. It's probably going to be the meat of the video. Gives a great breakdown of what we're getting into today. And so let's start. We're going to start there. I'm going to start with the etymology, because we believe as people. Oh, let me show you what I was talking about. Let me get back. It said, behold, I was brought forth in inequity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. So, in sin did my mother conceive me. So here we are. We were born in sin, right? Okay, so let's get an understanding, right? Get some more pictures of what sin means. Okay. Sin. Okay, so here it is right here. I edited this up so you can see. If you go to the back of the book, go to the word, it shows you the root. So we go to the root is es of sin, right? And look what it means. To be. Okay. Is. Su. Good. Si. Isu. Okay. This is very telling as well, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. But look at there. Swastika. Okay. Now, see a connection here. Sin means to be. To be meaning to exist. Okay. Because we came into existence. Right? We came into being in sin. Right? Born in sin. Okay. The swastika. This was a symbol of good fortune in the Orient and among American Indians. When they say Orient, they really just mean ancient times. Often with the arms left. Listen to this. Okay, this is important. Often with the arms leftward. Sinatros long before Hitler made the rightward dextrose clockwise swastika. That's infamous. Okay, the one where the arrows are going right. Okay, that's incorrect. Typically, the ancient one, they went left. Okay, because those people are backwards, because they're not the original people who promote that whole modern Aryan nation ideology. Okay, so listen, the Indians had a simple cross with the gods of the four directions on its arms. Okay, because it's astrological. Northern reference to swastika has been called the cross of Thor. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that, but okay, just to show you some more references. But you understand that the swastika is a symbol essentially of astrology. Okay, we're talking about the four corners of the four elements. Okay, the four cardinal points in astrology. In the Bible, it's the four gates, the four rivers, four blah blah blahs, and everything. The four pillars. It's always a four because we're talking about the four elementals: fire, water, air, earth of astrology. Okay, so when we say, we saying sin, right? So we understand now that sin means being, right? Just like in the Bible it said, you came in your mother's womb. You came and in sin did my mother conceive me, right? Born in sin. Okay, so let's go to the Bible. We go to the Strong's Concordance, and we'll see the first time sin is used, right? A transgression. It's used 448 times. Okay. Genesis 4:7, right? So let's look at Genesis 4:7. Look what Genesis 4, chapter 4 is. It should be familiar to everybody. Cain and Abel, okay? All right, and you seen it was 4:7 was the first time. Where's that right there? That sin is used in the Bible. All right, so let's read. Let's just read it all, because I'm kind of gonna show you what this is about. All right, I'm giving you a very, very important key to this Bible right here. Okay, pay attention. And Adam and Eve knew, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived. Knew means have sex. All right, if you go to this verse, you'll see. Look, has sexual relations. So when it says knew, which is knowledge, okay, means sex. And the connection, if I can just spit it to you real quick, is to dissect something, right? It means to go inside of it, okay? Like sex. You understand what I'm saying? And to dissect it, to open it up, is how you get to know it. All right. You see, so that's the connection. The root is sick, which sounds like and is connected to sex. You understand? So let's keep reading. Adam knew Eve. And let me say for one, I can stop on pretty much every word, because this Bible is not just a story, okay? It's science to this, because this is not about people. This is allegory. We're talking about metaphysical principles here. Adam and Eve. Okay, Adam knew Eve, his wife. She conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Okay. And again, she bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep. Notice, okay, but I'm not going to go there. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. Abel was a keeper of sheep. Cain was a tiller of ground. Now, I really wish y'all would buy my ebook. Now, I'm not just saying this just to try to sell my ebook. Obviously, I want to sell my book. But in it, I break down chapter, not the whole chapter 1, but a select few verses of chapter 1 of the creation and how it goes to how it says in chapter 1, not chapter 1, excuse me, chapter 3 of well, fuck it, I'm right here. I might as well go to it. How it says, right? Yeah. And the Lord, behold, man, and the Lord God said, behold, the man became as one of us to know good and evil, to put forth his hand to take the life and eat and live there forever. And man sent God forth from the garden to till the ground from whence he was taken. And before this, it says, wait 1 second. Did I read right past this where it says they made, there it is. Unto Adam and his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin. So that's how you know. Before this, we weren't even talking about human beings. Okay? They didn't even have skin. If you didn't have skin, you didn't have a body. If you didn't have a body, then you're not a physical being. We're talking about principles here. So you make coats of skin, right, to clothe them. And behold, they're one of us, and they'll go there. Therefore, they sent them from the Garden of Eden, okay, which was, once again, we're not talking about places, principles, to till the ground. And in my book, I go in how that's essentially talking about to incarnate into the physical reality to do this work, the great work, which is to become like Jesus. You understand? The higher self, the lower self to the higher. This is my whole book is about. I say this, repeatedly in my book, because all of these stories ultimately go back to the higher self versus the lower self, the eternal battle within man. And that's what all of this about, and that's what this Cain and Abel story is about. Because if you get, if I was to just go down to, if we was to just really break this down, these words, like I say, they mean whole myriad of things, not just to people, whatever. Okay, so it said Abel was a keeper of sheep. This word sheep in Hebrew doesn't just denote animals. It can also mean people. Okay, so when it says Abel is a keeper of sheep, they're talking about the higher self. And Cain was a tiller of the ground, talking about the lower self, hence the ground. See, this word ground is Adamah in Hebrew. You see, Adamah, which is the word Adam with one extra letter, the ha, the he. Okay, because we're not talking about we're not talking about the physical ground. We're talking about the physical body. We're talking about the lower self. And essentially what we're talking about here is astrology. But we're going to keep going. I'll show you what I mean. And in it, let me see. And she again bare his brother Abel keep of sheep till the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground and offered unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his continuance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy continuance fell? If thou doest well, thou shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. I'm not gonna get into it. Okay, but anyway, sin. So you see, sin is this word here. Chata. Chata is the first time it's used in the Bible. Chata, sin. Okay, show you in the Strong's Concordance. Okay, so chata, you see, same word. See, it's che, tet, aleph, ta. Che, tef, aleph, ta. I like to show you Same word. Should 2403. They use the Strong's Concordance. Matter of fact, there you go. So you just so you know. Just like to show that so people can always go behind me and, you know, look at what I look up, so you see I'm not making stuff up. You can look it up for yourself. Okay, so when you read this, you'll see that the word sin doesn't mean what the pastors and preachers been telling you, and it's right, really right here in the book. So let's show you what I'm talking about. Chata means, it comes from this, and we'll go to that in a second. An offense. Okay, something habitual sinfulness is penalty, occasion, sacrifice, expediation, also Okay, let's read. Chata as a noun means sin, sin guilt, sin purification, sin offering. The basic nuance of this word is sin conceived as missing the road or mark 155 times. That right there is number one. This is the general meaning of the word. Okay, the basic nuance of this word is sin conceived as missing the mark, missing the road or mark. So essentially, sinning means not being on time. Man, that right there is very, very telling if you understand what time is. Okay, not gonna explain it right here, but we're gonna keep going. Chata can refer to an offense against man. Then Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? That's pesha, so it's a different word. What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Genesis 31:36. It is such a passage which proves that chata is not simply a general word for sin, quote, quote. Since Jacob used two different words, he probably intended two different nuances. For the most part, this word represents a sin against God. That verse. Men are to return from sin, which is a path, a lifestyle, or act deviating from that which God has marked out, missing the mark or the destiny. Right? Right? Man, if you coupled it what I'm reading, if you read my book, then this should be like, this should be blowing your mind. They should depart from sin. Okay? Be concerned about it. Now look, the noun first appearance is Gen 4:7, like I showed you. Where Cain is warned that sin lieth at the door. This citation may introduce a second nuance of the word sin in general. Certainly such an emphasis appears in Psalms 25:7, where the noun represents a rebellious sin. Remember not the sins of my youth nor my transgressions, and a few the word perfect. Okay, so you see, the point was that originally it didn't mean, a bad thing. It means missing the mark. See that? That should be that's very telling. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go to this word. So first off, internalize that information. You understand what I'm saying? The word sin don't mean what you think it means. We're gonna keep going. We haven't even really gotten to the metaphysics yet, really. You know what I'm saying? This is just, like I say, this Strong's Concordance. So let's go to 2398, which I'm hoping I can just go here. So, Chata sees 2398. Okay, prime root to miss, hint, look, to miss. It's the first meaning. To miss. Let's say to miss a mark, right? Right? Missing the road or mark or the destiny. Okay? I'm going to show you what sinning really is. Cleanse, sinner, lost, sinful, trespass. Chata means sin, sin guilt, sin purification, sin offering. Chata as a verb means to miss, sin, be guilty, forfeit, purify. The basic nuance of chata is sin conceived as missing the road or mark. Illustrated by Judges 20:16. There were 700 left-handed Benjamite soldiers who could Benjamite, man, if you remember the last video I did about the Hebrew, the word Benjamite should mean something different for you. Soldiers who could sling stones at a hair breadth and not miss. Okay, so I had to get a better picture of this. So I left off right here. So in my last video, I showed what Benjamite really, what it really denotes in the Hebrew. So you see, it said the Benjamite soldiers who could sling stones. Okay, it said the meaning is extended in Proverbs 19. He who makes haste with his feet sinneth. The intensive form is used. The intensive form is used in Genesis 31:39. That which was torn of beasts. Keep that
Message.
in mind. I brought not unto thee, I bear the loss of it. From this basic meaning comes the word's chief usage to indicate the moral failure toward both God and man, the certain results of such wrongdoings. So you see, that's where we get our basic understanding of the word sin from. It's from that, but that's not the original meaning. You see, the original meaning was to miss a mark. So if we go down, I remember I said Benjamite. You remember how I related that to the Hebrew, and what was my last video. So you see, this is this whole column. That's why I had to get a better picture. It's chata, right? See, it's 2398. The next one is 2399 is down here. So I'm gonna show you it here. It shows you a synonym for this. Okay, see, synonyms. Right. Okay, now look at these. Now all these are the numbers that correspond to other Hebrew words within this book. Look at this one right here. Now, if you watch my last video, that one should look familiar to you. But if it don't, I'm going to show you right here. It says 5674. That was a bar, which I've showed and proved was the root word to Hebrew. Okay? From 5677. Show you real quick. 5677 Eber, which is the same as Aber, which is a synonym, right, to sin, or excuse me, chata, which is sin. So the Hebrews are the sinners. I love when I can do that, and people can never debunk me when I say stuff like that, because I always show and prove. Okay, so we're not even halfway done. We may be 10% into this thing. So let's go back to that. Okay, let's go back to chata, the original, right? Which was, this is sin, remember? Okay, so we're gonna go to this book, Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. Right, I already took the pictures I need to get out of here. Well, a couple of pictures. So I'm just showing you this is what it is if you want to go get it. I paid like $20. It was about 3-4 years ago. The price might have went up over the past 3-4 years, but I'm just saying I wouldn't pay no $50 for it. But and actually, you can get a free copy online to a PDF, because I think it's that old. So we're gonna go to that book. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, so chata, right? Go to the Kabbalistic dictionary. You see, chata, sin, atonement, sin, chata, right? Now it equals something, and I'm gonna show you what that is in a second. And I'm keeping it covered for a reason, because when you see it, it's gonna trip you out. But look at this, Rahor. Okay, Rahoras, an Egyptian god. Okay, this word right here is very important. But remember, in the Strong's Concordance, it made reference to the beast.
Message.
In that Bible verse, I don't remember which one it was. You can rewind the video and see. But you see this chayata, right? Which is similar to this word. You see, it has the same beginning letter, because Hebrew is written from right to left. So this is Rahor. So it's Rahor. Okay. So you see the first letter in both of these is the che, and that's this letter. This word, which is the 8th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay. This letter is Chet, and it means fence. Okay. Now, for those who don't know, right? The the word sin corresponds to the moon. Okay? Bomb, shell, if those who didn't know. The word sin was the name of the moon god. Akkadian, Sumerian, Nana, Mesopotamian religion, the god of the moon. Sin was the father of the sun god, Shemesh, and in other myths, Ishtar, and now goddess of Venus, etc., etc. Kai was the god of the moon. Okay, the word sin essentially corresponds to the moon. All right, just as the word Chet, right? So Chet, as you can see it here, it's actually written like this. They got it written wrong in this book as I'm looking at it. You see, it's written right there. You see, they wrote the he right here. The drawing is off. I'm just not peeping at in this book as I'm looking at it in this picture. Anyway, you see, it's the 8th letter, like I told you. That's important too. The number 8. You see, it's pronounced Chet. So when I say Cheta, you see it's right there. Okay. Chet. The fourth of the 12 single letters, and the reason why it's the fourth of the 12 single letters because the 12 single letters correspond to the 12 zodiac signs, and it's the fourth one because it corresponds to Cancer. Okay, so you see it spelled out this way, and it equals this number. Okay, geometry is all about the numbers. The numbers connect the words because we're talking energies. Okay, so 418, if you add it up, equals 13. Very, very important. Okay, you see this corresponds to Cancer, and if you go to get this book, they got breakdowns and stuff, and you use this stuff if you are into the occult metaphysical practices. I hate to scare. I hate when I say this type of stuff. It scares some people, but rituals and things of that nature. If you're into that kind of thing,
show us a tutorial since you know what the fuck you do.
For those of you who don't understand, like brushing your teeth every day is a ritual. So just when I say ritual, don't think I mean sacrificing something, other than your time and energy.
Sensational.
Okay. So anyway, so I'm bringing it back. You see this Chet, right? See what it is, right? Let's go back to this picture. Now, you see the equals 418. Look what else equals 418. Abracadabra. Now, we have always assumed that this is the shit that they say on Bugs Bunny and shit, and we always laughed it off. It's been put to us in cartoons and things. We dismiss this type of stuff. We do not understand that words have power. Therefore, we do not understand that the words that we use every day are really spelling words. That whole concept. Those of us who have been into this occult studying, this isn't new. But for those of you who may be watching this video looking for an explanation on sin, all this stuff is gonna be completely new to you. I understand, I get that. But what I'm telling you is it's a whole different science that you're not privy to, and that these preachers and stuff know. And that's why I read straight from the Strong's Concordance first, because that has absolutely nothing to do with, it does, but with metaphysics, you understand what I'm saying? It's all straight from a literal and metaphorical, in a sense, perspective. So if you can get that strictly without any occult sciences, any necessarily any metaphysics, then how come these pastors and preachers aren't explaining just the basic meanings of these words to you? Why are they giving you this basic narrative of some person who, sacrificed themselves so you can do whatever you want to do? Now, I promise you, I'm not done. That's not even the point. This is very interesting, though, and this will become very important once you get the complete lesson. Now, I took this picture out of this book just so I can share this with you for those of you who get down into this type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in the back of that book, they got other interpretations for the numbers. So, here's 418. I'm showing you all this, right? You can pause it and get this is the last end of a page, and this is the next page. You see how extensive 418 is. You see 419, 420. Neither one of them are as long as 418. This is probably the longest one in the back of the book for a reason. Why you think they've been saying this word, this abracadabra word, in pop culture, and we don't think nothing of it? It's magic, okay? The words are magic, okay? I'm not saying this word particular, but I'm saying words in general, because you as a human being are God, okay? And what you put your energy to is what will manifest. So when you use certain words, you understand what I'm saying? Certain things will manifest faster. Now, look at this real quick for my smokers. I think this is very funny. You see, this is 419. It's cut off, but this is 420. For those, everybody know 420. Look what equal 420. Now, y'all think that's a coincidence? Y'all think that's a coincidence? I bet y'all do. But anyway, so you wonder why the patriarch for your religion, Israelites, is Abraham, right? Which is very similar to abracadabra. You understand what I'm saying? There's reasons for this. These words, these letters, is chosen for a reason. Okay, now I'm soapboxing. So let me back up. All right, let me back up and get back to what we talking about here. So let's go back to what we the original premise is sin, right? So what have we learned so far? Sin does not mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean being mean to somebody. It's not based on morals. Okay? Very simply put, the etymology goes back to what was it? ES, right? Which means to be, to live. Okay? The swastika, to be a human being, to be within the zodiac. The zodiac means to live. Okay, to exist. You understand what I'm saying? So, okay, bam. So you see zodiac, etymology goes back to this. It means to live. Okay? So, you say existing in the zodiac, you mean existing in reality, living. Okay? So let's go back to some origin of these words, the origin of some of these words that we've been speaking on, so we can recap and get a understanding of what I'm saying before we go any further into the more mystical aspects, because essentially I have been speaking on some metaphysics, but for the most part I'm just really interpreting words. Okay, so we know that the moon and sin, in the word sin, is synonymous. So we've seen that sin means missing the mark, right? So look what moon means. Moon goes back to ME4, which means measure, the setting of time. The moon, okay? The moon sets the time on the planet. The menses for our women, okay? That sets you, the woman, sets you on your cycle, right? Sets you, emotionally and physically, monthly, right? Okay, that's the same with the earth. The moon has it's full moon every 14, not every, it's a full moon, and 14 days later it's a new moon, and 14 days after that it's a full moon, 14 days after that, and that's the constant clock. Hence, the word moon is synonymous with the word measure. Okay, so when we say we're sinning, we're missing the mark. We're not on time. You understand what I'm saying? So let's look at time. If you look at time, goes back to DA2, right? Damien, divider of destiny. What did I say? Missing the mark. Missing the mark or the destiny. CESU, which I believe is the same as I'm prolonging because I'm looking. ES. It's the same as sin. See? CESU. Yes, same thing. You understand what I'm saying? And this was time. Okay? Time. Time. The zodiac. The lower self. The Damien. The demon. The divider of your destiny. You understand? Now you understand why I wrote my book? You understand why I write my ebooks? Conquering the lower self. The zodiac is the lower self. You understand me? Okay. So, just to show you the connection with knowledge, right? And sex. To know or to be got. Some scholars divide it in two. I showed it earlier, but now I'm just gonna read it to you. Adam knew Eve, you see? Jinn, knowledge. Knowledge is sex. Okay? And this is because the pineal gland is the penis of the brain. The pituitary gland is the vagina. The hypothalamus is the child created. The hypothalamus holds the memories. Y'all not listening to me. Okay, so as I was reviewing this video, I realized I made a mistake with what I said just right there. I said the hypothalamus holds the memories. I was wrong there. I got hypothalamus and hippocampus mixed up, and I was gonna do it just a quick little edit, and then I realized I could share something with you just real quick since I made the statement. I didn't even plan on really going into this in this video, but that's why I do my videos. I let things flow. So, and what I said and what I meant was, I was right with what I said anyway. As you can see here, I got a little 2 screenshots, so it's real quick. The hypothalamus as the primary coordinator of memory updating. So so what I said, the hypothalamus creates memories. I said hypothalamus holds memories. Technically, what I meant was the hippocampus is a complex brain structure embedded deep in the temporal lobe. It has a major role in learning and memory. Okay, the hippocampus is what holds the memory, but the hypothalamus is what creates the memory. See, coordinator of updating memories. So essentially, what I meant was correct. What I meant to say, I was still correct. I just got to be a little bit more detailed, which is a Gemini's quality. You know what I mean? Got to get back a little bit more on my Virgo tip. So in that, as I made the statement, the pineal, the pituitary, and the hypothalamus, that is the third eye. Okay, it's the 3 workings, 3 as 1. Okay, now what does that sound like? That sounds like the 3 in 1 God. Okay, the Father, the Mother, the Child. The pineal is the Father, the pituitary is the Mother, and the hypothalamus is the child. You understand what I'm saying? And that, okay, also correlates to abracadabra and Abraham. You see, I made the point of the 3 letters, Abra and Resh, according to the Hebrew. Okay, so the Aleph will be considered the father. Okay, the pineal, or Osar or Cyrus, right? The pituitary would be Isis, or Mary, or the Holy Ghost, right? The second part of the Trinity, the female aspect of the Trinity. And then the hypothalamus would be, the Jesus aspect, the child, Horus, Heru. Okay, that's the Holy Trinity within man. That's Ab-Ra. That's Aleph, Beth, and Resh. Aleph, the aleph, the pineal, the pineal. I did that on accident, but you feel me. Beth is the pituitary, okay, and then Resh is the sun or the hypothalamus, okay. So when we get to the end, I'm gonna come back to this and show you that that is the 3-in-1. And when I show you the geometria to this, when after I show you the other geometria here later, then you'll see how it all connects. So I'm gonna go here. Some of these words are kind of technical, so I'm gonna let Google read for me, make it easier, so we can better understand each other.
Although the pineal gland, epiphysis cerebri, has been noted in medical writings for at least 2,000 years, its possible physiological role remains unresolved. Early Greek anatomists, including Herophilus and his disciples, believed that the cerebral ventricles were the seat of the mind and that the pineal body or canarium had a sphincteric function to regulate the flow of thought. This concept was refuted by Galen, who concluded that the pineal was probably a gland, similar to the lymph glands. Belief in a thought sphincter persisted, and Galen ascribed this function to the cerebellar vermis.
Okay, so you see, even in ancient times, the pineal was considered the seat of thought, the seat of mind. So I'm gonna let it go. Keep going.
In the 17th century, Descartes established the idea that this organ was the seat of the soul. It is an awe-inspiring reflection of the power of Cartesian authority that, 3 centuries later, this is still the first association in the minds of many when the pineal gland is mentioned. His opinions were not accepted by everyone. Thomas Gibson, for example, in his descriptions of the anatomy of the brain in 1763, returned to the genital analogies of the early anatomists with respect to the pineal body.
So you see that the one guy, see, that's why I let them read it, right? He postulated that the seat of the soul was the pineal gland. So this guy refuted it, and he went into more so into the biology and the anatomy, and it being essentially what I said, right? The original sex was the pineal and the pituitary, the hypothalamus, the child that creates the thoughts, creates the the emotions, thoughts, the seat of the mind. You see the third eye, and that is what he's not referring to the metaphysical aspects. He's just making the connection of how, matter of fact, the name glandulo penialis means penis. You see what I'm saying? So I'm finna let him read it, and he's connecting it to the the penis and the anus and etc., the lower body, lower part of your body. So I'm gonna finish this up.
The first is glandula pinealis, or penis, because it representeth the pine nut or a man's yard. It is seated in the beginning of that pipe by which the third and fourth ventricles are united. This gland Descartes thinks to be the primary seat of the soul, and that all animal operations draw their origin from it. But Berthelin has sufficiently confuted that opinion, for it seems to be but of the same use as other glands, and particularly the glandula pituitaria placed near to it is to separate the lympha from the arterial blood, which lympha is resorbed by the veins. Near to this, on both sides of this third ventricle, 4 round bodies appear. The 2 upper are lesser and are called testes, the 2 greater are lowered, and are called nates. The chink between the nates is called anus.
So you see how he's relating the pineal body, the pituitary, to the penis and the anus, or obviously in a female it would be the vagina. So just to show you what I'm saying, that the pineal is the penis, the pituitary is the vagina, hypothalamus is what is created when the two unite, if you will. Metaphorically, it's an analogy. You understand what I'm saying, to what it happens in your body. This is allegory. This is the reason for the allegories. You understand what I'm saying? So you can understand how medical, or how biological operations happen And those things are told through stories. See, so to be born in sin simply means to incarnate, but you'll see as we keep going. So let's finish. This stuff is science, people. Biology. It's not about sky people. It's not about planets. This is electromagnetic energy. Okay, since I'm right here, let me show you what sinning really is. Because you see, remember it said a path, right? Let me minimize this stuff here. What sinning really is, right, is the sine and cosine waves of electromagnetism. Huh? Sine wave, harmonic oscillation, the sine for the electric field component together with the cosines of the magnetic field perfectly converts the energy content of a photon. You are a light being. Photonic energy, electromagnetic energy, that is what you are. Okay? The coat of skin was created for you to work. You understand? Okay, this stuff is not about angels and devils and demons and stuff like that. That's angles, right? Angles, not angels. Okay? And the demon is time. Sinning. Missing your mark. Okay? Man. So, let's keep going. So, let's go to this book. Alright? Because this book goes in. And you know, Islam taught the Moors and worldwide. You know it's where I'm ultimately going. If you didn't know, you will. So, let's go to page 150 in this book. It's talking about the Soma, the moon, was the food of the gods, and was said to have been kept them immortal. The manna of the Israelites, described by the rabbis as being like pearls of the Old Testament, honey-like, fell during the night like moonlight. Okay, among other mythological symbols associated with the moon, Soma is seen as the crescent-shaped bullhorn in the Druid festivals of the mistletoe. The Druid festival of mistletoe cutting, bulls were brought in as sacrifice. The pearl-like berries of the mistletoe are said to symbolize the semen of gods. Okay, Sin, the crescent moon. Sin is Soma, is the food of the gods. Okay, was associated with Thaw. Okay, Sin, San, Saint, or shining. Indeed, Ophis, Greek for serpent, may be equated with Apis, the sacred bull of Memphis, who represented the god Osiris. Okay, all of this is related to sin. Keep this in mind. And the bull Menevis, or Epis, the living one, serpent lightning. Okay, did I not go in about serpent? We should know serpent is more. Okay. The marrow. I like when I do that. I don't be doing it on purpose. The Merovingian Marrow means dark. Vingian dynasty of priest kings was supposed to have descended from the bull serpent Quinotar, which suggests that they possibly descend from the house of Osiris at the head of Adam Ra, the Egyptian father god equated to the Greek Zeus and the Sumerian Anu. Now I'm showing you all of these deities across these different pantheons of mythologies, and you see how they all represent the one thing: the sin, the Soma, the moon. Okay, so you understand that it's the emotion, which is ruled by Cancer, astrology. All right, in my book I make the statement: astrology, the zodiac, is nothing but a mythology of the energies of the planet, of the universe. Okay, these mythologies of Thoth, of Menevis, of the Quinitars, of Osiris, of Zeus, okay, Anu, Anunnakis. Okay, all of that is about you, your energy, your emotion, which is the energy within you that is in motion. All right, let's keep going on that book. Right after that part, it goes on. Honey is associated with ambrosia. Ambrosia, the elixir of life, the substance that gives eternal life. The Greek term is meli or Melissa. Melissa is one of the names given to Isis. Come on now. Occurs in the European legend of Melusine, who is half mermaid and possibly half serpent. See that? Melusine is therefore thought to be another form of Melissa, Isis, who brings clusters of blossoms to the honey drinkers. The term mermaid may come from the Persian mar, which, according to Gold in his mystical monsters, may be supposed the same as the serpent which guards the golden fruit in the garden of Hesperides. Mer, meaning the place of extension and everlasting life, a name given to the pyramids. Let that simmer. And then let's go back a little bit in this book just to show you some more, just to bring us a little bit more clarity to some of this. In many myths, the elixir of life, the ambrosia, the soma, remember, all this is sin. Look at this. Amarita, or deathless drink, is said to reside within the blood of monsters with the dragon or snake-like features. Remember, the references to snakes and serpents are references to Moors. The snake medicine of the Chinese is a residue of this ancient knowledge. Ambrosia literally means food or nectar of gods. Amarita, Marita, or Amarit, which means deathless or nectar, is a form of a drink used by Sikhs in their rituals. It is a solution of sugar crystals dissolved in water by stirring a double-edged sword in a similar fashion to a phallus, lance, or spear, stirring the primordial waters of the void, or churning the oceans in Hindu mythology. Okay, see all these sexual references? Okay, you see all these sexual references? Alright. Remember in the Bible, Adam knew Eve. Remember I showed you what new means. New, knowledge, sex. Okay? Amarita, deathless nectar, drink, the ritual, double-edged sword, similar to the fashion of a phallus or a lance. Wasn't Jesus stabbed by a lance? Is that right? No, spear, or a spear, stirring the primordial waters of the void. Okay, Adam knew Eve. Sex, or the churnings of the ocean in Hindu mythology, a mixture of probably nothing like its original form, which is believed to have been both venom and the blood of related enlightenment experience. Nonetheless, the fact that only initiates drink it indicates its importance and reveals that even now it remains the remnant of the chosen few who receive the elixir. It is therefore little wonder that only a select elite can undertake Freemasons the journey of the Grail, and that the initiation rituals of the Grail-related myths were so difficult to tread the path of the Serpent Grail, meant being part of the correct bloodline. That's where that whole Illuminati keep having sex with the cousins thing comes about. So, one Asian legend of a deity was half Asian, half man, similar to Quasikoto. And Indra, this was the last video I just did about with the Hebrew, related to Indra. Ambrosia, which was a monster, a few drops of this fell on the grass, which consecrated eternity. I'm kind of skipping through this because I want to get down to this part. It is said that the snakes received their forked tongues by by as they licked ambrosia up from the grass and thereby bringing attention to the midpoint, which the duality of opposites is canceled out. More importantly, the serpents, i.e., the shamanistic serpent beings, were said to have gained the secret amarita immortality from this process. Okay, so from licking the ambrosia from the grass, okay, peep the, remember the sexual references, licking the serpent beings, and remember serpent means more, was said to have gained the amarita from this process. And also the mistletoe, the all hill of European culture, the herb brought by the snake, is a tale associated with that which is said to correspond to Soma, the Indian god of the moon. Okay, so even your Christian mistletoe thing, okay, even that, same thing. Okay, and what does it go back to? Amarita.
Sweet sperm.
Which brings me to this. I'll let you read it. Okay. So if a woman is basically healthy and emotionally balanced, it is a healing elixir. The Soma actually is elixir for longevity. Huh? Okay. So in such a case, a man who is gifted with this by a woman should drink with gratitude. You're welcome. To all my brothers, you're welcome. Right? Okay.
Your shining face.
Colonel Angus, what brings you to these parts?
I'm headed down south.
Of course.
How far south are you headed, Colonel Angus?
Ain't really sure. I prefer the deep south. I like the heat, the humidity.
Oh, sir, I do not.
And who is this little rogue?
All right, so Amarita, right? Let's go to the etymology of that. Amarita. You see it.
Facts. Facts.
So let's go see what that says. Myrrh 2. Rub away. Damage, destroy. Amarita. A negative. Drink of immortality. Hold on. It remind you what the drink of immortality is. That's the drink of immortality. Okay. The food of the gods. The nectar. Sea neck. Okay. Look at that. Moors. Death. Okay. I've already shown the connection between myrrh and death in other videos. You can go there. Go watch the movie, kids movie, Onward. That's about Moors too. The elves. The black woman voiced the manticore on there. Manticore. Moor. Myrrh. Alright. Okay, so let's look at neck and watch the immediate connection for those of you, and we're gonna go up here in a second too. Keep that in mind. You can look at this if you would like to right now. This I showed. Go to my was Jesus a Moor video. And that's the root of Christ to smear. All right. Shout out Dolo King of the Moors, gave me that game a few years back. But let's go. So I really don't need to go here. Well, I might. We'll see. Let's go here though. Neck. Watch. Neck. Necromancy. Sea neck. Black nigger.
And the Moors are niggas.
Negro. Negroid. Negrito. Negro. Nilo. Black. Nickel. Negomantia. The black art. Negrophile. Scared of black people. Negrophobia. The condition. Niggers. Niggersons. Niggerfi. Niggersin. Negritude. You got a negritude, nigga. Nero, huh? The Roman Nero. This is infamous for me because the first CD burner software I ever used was Nero. Roman. Okay. Negro marathon. Negro. Necro. From N-E. Peep that. Because that goes right back to here. And Marita.
Sweet sperm.
Any. Okay. But where was we at? Nectar. See, we Negroes because we was the Necros. See, in Greek. Because we was the death people. Because Mer means death.
And the Moors are niggas.
You see? So it was the death people. So it was the Necros. And Necros, those people who worship the dead, what do we do for the dead homies? Pour out liquor. Go to, we what do we do for our dead icons? Build, excuse me. Sorry about that. What do we do for our dead icons and our dead, celebrities now? And back in the day, our dead rulers, right? Supposedly, let them tell it, we built pyramids as tombs, which is the stupidest shit in the world. But anyway, we built monuments to our peoples. Look at the Olmec heads, right? So, we understand we were considered people who worshipped dead people. Necromancers. You see? So the necromancers became the Negroes. And they worshiped the black arts. You see? So you later became black people. After black was attached to Moor.
Ain't she fine? Watch me work. Moor! Do you mock me?
And you can find that out simply with the etymology of black. Okay? So you see how it all goes back to this. All of it goes back to this. You can't get away from it.
Wait till I find your boss. He gonna fire your metallic ass.
You would do well to mind your tongue, Moor.
You see? And we keep trying to. But we keep coming back to the same thing. So you see, Mer means gleam, means sparkle. Right? Right? And we know that in Hebrew, the word Moor means light. So, just like in modern, the modern etymology of the word means gleam, it means sparkle. Right? Sparkle as in light. Right? In Hebrew, it means light. Light element. Light, bright. Right? Sparkle. Right? You get it? See the connection? So how modern interpretations of ancient words are simply that. A modernized interpretation of an ancient concept. You see? So it says gleam and sparkle. But in ancient times, it said light, and it meant, and like I've showed, this is in Genesis, what is it, 114? Here, you can see that here. 114, where it says, and God said, let there be lights. I've showed this in videos. The word lights is more in the Hebrew. So, just as it says in the Shipley's etymological dictionary, Mer means light. In ancient times, it meant the same thing, because nothing is new under the sun. All right. So let's just look at, like I've shown in the past videos, the many things that Mer meant in so-called Egypt. Egypt was not called Egypt. It was called Mer. The high priest of Anu. Remember I just said about Anu, the Sumerian god of Anu, right? Moor. Okay. when y'all in y'all prayers, amen, more. Water, a lake, a pool, myrrh. Beyond the other side, myrth. A sacred serpent. Do I need to show? Or have I already showed 1,000 times? Nega, serpents, see more. Alright? So, myrrh, beloved one, Mary, title of several gods. A form of Osiris, God, title of Ra, Amen, Horus, and Osiris, and other gods. Plural. Meru, a mountain, the mountain. Okay? I showed that. Let me see if I can see it right here, right to my right. I can't. I'm not gonna show it. I've showed it in past videos. I'll put it on screen. Overseer. Myrrh. Just showing you the many things. The ancient name for Egypt, Patamara. Tamara. That's Egypt. Tuankan, 2 months, whatever. Myrrh. Okay, to destroy. See? Death. To anoint. That's synonymous with Christ. To rub oil, the oil secreted by the pineal gland. Alright. So, lastly, I want to show how all this goes back to this and to her, because she is the prize. She's what it's about. You understand? So, let's go here.
But deep down, Colonel Angus is very sweet.
Well, we hope you'll spend the night with us.
Well, thank you, Miss Annabelle. And if I overstay my welcome, just tap me on the head.
Okay, so let's go back to Chata, which is sin, right? Spelled this way, right? And then the root to this is this. I already showed y'all this, right? Okay. Now we're gonna break down these words because we're gonna look at this. We're gonna look at the correspondence in geometry, and we're gonna make some. I'm gonna show you what this corresponds to and how it goes back to the so-called black woman.
And the Moors are niggas.
Okay. So you see it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go from right to left, right to left, right to left. Okay, 70, 80, 100. Okay, you get it. All right. So let's put it back where it was. Bam and bam. So this word right here, chata, right? The only difference between chatata and chata is the last letter. And spell is spelled 2 different ways. One point it has a ta at the end, another time it has a he at the end. That's gonna be important when we get to the geometry. Okay, but first we want to break down this word kabbalistically, if you will. Okay, so the root is chata, but you see the first letter is the chet, which when you look at the numerology, the word chata means sin, but the letter chata, chet, when spelled out, okay, spelled this way, you using these letters, it equals 418. Okay, this letter is the first letter. This letter spelled out as a word is the first letter of the the word sin. So this word essentially means, as you can see, let me put this back up. Chet means a fence, which means an enclosure, right? In a room, chamber, separate, to cut off, to protect. Okay. Tet is the serpent, the snake surrounded to twist. Okay, and Aleph is the ox, which means primordial energy. Adonai, you see, which is a name for God. So essentially God, and the serpent is what? The child of God. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So this is essentially, as you can see, let me show you. This here, Chata, right? Essentially is the lower self and the higher self encapsulated within the DNA. All right. Okay. Esoterically, this is what this means. And then when that is expressed in the physical realm at the ta at the end, because you'll see that ta is a mark, a X, right? And it just means the physical world. Ta, that's why it's the Torah, which is because it's the laws of the physical world. So when this is enacted in the physical, then you sin, and that is being born in sin. You see what I'm saying? The Chet is the DNA. Okay? That's what this is, Kabbalistically. Okay? Alright? And Tet is electromagnetic energy. Right? The serpent. You see what I'm saying? Okay? So, let's go back to this and this, because I want you to understand that I'm not just saying this. I can show you that the ta is a suffix in Hebrew. Okay, so the ta. That's why this is the original word, the root word, and with the suffix added, the ta or the he. You'll see that here too. See, female singular. Okay, a good mare. You see, it just alters the word. It just has prefixes and suffixes. Excuse me. Just as prefixes and suffixes do now. Okay, it's just the same thing. This is the science of words. You know, it's just different languages have obviously different lettering and etc. So you see, I'm showing you this because I want to go back to, of course, the Bible. I'm going to go to Genesis. I'm going to go to Genesis 3. And we're going to talk about the serpent, right? Go to Genesis 3:1. Go to the Hebrew. And you'll see now the serpent was more cunning than any beast, right? Than any beast. It's referring to the serpent as a beast, right? When you come to this word for beast, you get che. You see? That is this here. Okay? See, it's chai. See how long it is, the definition for this? I took that on purpose so you can see it. Zoom in. So you can see how extensive this definition is for this word. Okay? When we're talking about the beast, remember? But what is the beast? The beast is to be alive. The great beast of the Bible, when it refers to the serpent, right? That's why in Genesis it says the serpent was the greatest of all beasts. Now the serpent was more crafty and wild. Oh, see, that's that verse. That's New International. The King James. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast, right? The most subtle beast. But beast means life. You see? When they use beast, talking about just being alive. So when we say the 666 is the carbon atom, right? 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. The life-giving particle. To be alive is the beast. Alive, creature. Where is it? Beast. See it? To be alive is the beast. You see? Okay, now look where it come from. 24:21. Now watch this. I'm show how they do, y'all. Watch. Look what 24:21 is. See, it's just the next page. I go 24:17. Same thing. 24:21. Alive. Chaya means to live. Right? Adam lived 130 years. 130. 13. 4. plus 1 plus 8, 13. You get it? You think that's a coincidence? Okay. Now, keep in mind, if you do the math here, you'll see that this equals, this equals 8. Let me see. I can show you. No speculating. This equals 8. Right there. This equals 10. There says 18. And this equals 5. Right here it says 23. Right? Right? How many chromosomes do you have? Yeah, I think they should have gave, man, the 23 and 23 to make the 46. And the 23 and 23 to make the 46. Isn't it 23 and 23 to make the 46, right? 23 from your mother, 23 from your father, and what? You're alive. Watch. Comparable to what? 2331. Right? Right. 2331. 2331. Look what it is. It's a prime root. Comparable to 2421. Same thing. To live. To declare, to show. To live. Look. See how to spell it? Cha. Va. Ha. Cha. Va. Ha. Okay. Right? That equals what? 19? 19? Look what else this word is translated to in English. See, it's the same word. That's the same word too, just to show you you're not missing nothing. Look what it is. The life giver. Chevaya. Eve.
I beg your pardon?
The first woman. You understand that? Do you understand that? Do you see how they made y'all evil? Right? And everything that y'all represent. I didn't necessarily mean to show that. But but you understand what I'm saying. Eve. I'm trying to show this. God damn. Eve is the life giver. And we don't have to go into the Strong's Concordance to see this. You can see it right here in Genesis, where it tells you that Eve, Genesis 3, chapter 3, verse 20. And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. All living. Everything. Eve. You see? You see? So, when you see these numbers, right? Let's look at 18, which is life, right? Okay, chai means living, it's 18. And chaya means living things. Chaya equals what? 23, right? 8, 10, 5, 23, right? Okay, now we go back to sin spelled this way, where it don't equal 418 because it doesn't have the ta, it has a he. So this is 8, this is 9, this is 1, right? So that's 18 plus 5, 23. You see? The sin is life. Do you understand me? So, to be born in sin simply means to be alive. Okay? The great beast of the Bible is your body, your humanity. Okay? You're more than that. You are more than that. Right?
But nothing more was said about that.
All right. And lastly, as I made the statement earlier about the Holy Trinity, the pineal, pituitary, and hypothalamus being the Holy Trinity within the brain. Okay. And I made the statement that that is why the name Abraham is the father of the religion of Hebrew Israelites, you know, the Judeo-Christian religion, right? So look at his name. First, let's look. As you can see, Moor means light. I already made that. And this right here, I'm doing another video. I'm not going to tell you what this is right yet, but I'm going to do another video on this in a minute. But anyway, let me show you. Moor equals light, right? I already showed. Equals 247. Now, that's important because 2 plus 4 plus 7 is 13, which equals the same as sin. And abracadabra, you see? So you see it's some magic in the words, all right? But let's go back. So let's look at Abraham. See, Abraham equals 2 plus 4 plus 8. Equals 248. Now that's important because 2 plus 4 plus 8. If obviously if this is 13, then this is 14, right? Right? 1 plus 4 is what? 5, right? Just like the 23 that is sin. Remember, I showed 8, 9, 17, 18 plus 5, right? 23. So you see the connections. Abraham equals 20. See, the geometry give you more connections than just the words. Okay, that's the whole point of it, because certain words have certain energy frequencies, and that is measured by assigning numbers to them. You understand what I'm saying? And this has been the practice throughout time, and that's why they've maintained the same meanings and the same correlations over time. And this was put in place by our people, so-called black people from thousands of years ago, for this reason, because we knew where we would be in this time, because the science of the planet, the second law of thermodynamics, is entropy. Okay, things always tend towards disorder. All right, as a human being, you are tied. You are earth being. You Adamah. You are the earth. Okay, you are one. So as disorder goes on the earth, it also goes within you, as within, so without. Okay, so that's why our people laid this science down thousands of years ago, so we can find ourselves in this time. Then there's no denying it. You people would try to give this to Europeans and say Europeans designed this. Why would Europeans design something that points all back to black people? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, your people did this thousands of years ago because your people knew what they was going into. Okay, so finish this up real quick. Like I said, Abraham is the Trinity. Aleph, Beth, Resh. This is your Trinity. Pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus. This is your third eye. These three things. Now keep in mind, I said Abraham equals 2 plus 4 plus 8, 15, right? 14, excuse me. And 1 plus 4 is 5. And then I showed you the sin is 5 equals 5 as well, 23, right? Okay, this is important. Keep it in mind. Now, before I go to prove my last point, let's go to Abraham in the Strong's Concordance, because you know his name was Abram, and his name was changed to Abraham later on in the in Genesis, right? You see the difference is the suffix. This one has an extra he. This one doesn't. Okay, that's the difference between the two names. All right, but you see, father, mother, child, still the root. Okay, now look what the father, mother, child spells. A bar, right? To soar, to fly. Eber, what that sound like? Okay, but just to show you that these three correlate to things. To soar, to fly, to be high. Heavenly. You understand what I'm saying? Because it represents the Father, the Creator. The Father, Mother, Creator, Principle, the Creator, Principle. I hate when I say Father, people get into their feelings like I'm thinking of man, sky god, and all that. All right. So I'm showing you that the three letters equals I lost track. I kind of lost track of what I was saying. Okay, so I showed you that Abraham is Aleph, Beth, Resh, right? So Aleph, this is 1, Beth is 2, Resh is 200. This is 203. So just before I show you this, just do the math in your head. 203 is 23. You see the connection? 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 in numerology means creativity, the creation. The 5th house in astrology is ruled by Leo, the child, the creator. The created becomes the creator. That is the concept of the mother and child. Okay, the child becomes the father. The child grows up. Heru becomes the king after he slays or defeats Set and revenges his father, Osiris. You see, the child grows up to become, okay, that's the concept within the mythologies. You know, Jesus was a child. He grew up to become the savior, right? So that's the concepts here. So you understand 2 plus 3 is 5. So when we go to 203 in this book, we see it all right here in front of us. Abar, which means leg, according to them. Bera, now you should remember that from my last video about the Hebrews. And you see Bar, you see Bera, as I told y'all then, is the first word in the Bible. In the Bible, to create, to make. Bera, Beth, Resh, Aleph. 200, and then that's 1. 203. You see, and Abram will be A, Aleph, Beth, Resh. You see how the 3 letters are in there? Has to do with creation. Okay. Look at this. I thought that was funny. The word beer is old, and it means a title of Malkuth. Malkuth is earth. So the earth is beer. So I'm my drinkers. There you go. All right, now look, like I told you, the initials of the Trinity. Aleph, Beth, Resh, 203. Now look, the Aleph stands for Ab. Ab means father. Ab means father. That's why you get Ab originals. This is really what they really mean. You know what I'm saying? The father of the originals. Okay. So Ab means father. So when it says the Trinity, Ab, the father. Okay. Ben is child. Bang, son, builder of the family name. A nation, condition, children. Okay. Just to show you how extensive that definition is. You know, it's a whole column. You can read if you like. Just to show. So, son. So that's the child. Alright. So you have father, child, and then this word is ruach. The ruach. Rock. Ruach. Ruach. To blow, to perceive, to smell. The spirit. Okay. And you see it's a lot of definitions, but if you go here, see how, once again, extensive the definition is, because it corresponds to one of the Trinity. Okay? So you see how big it is. Introduction, let me see, I'll show you. Penetrating power of the invisible God, you see? It's about the spirit. Breath, the spirit. The ruach, the spirit. Okay? So, you have the Trinity. The Father, the Mother, and the Child. 203. 23. You see? Which was sin. You see? Okay? So, the sin is the falling of Lucifer, if you will. Okay, the angel that fell to earth. It's all a story, same stories, representing you as a soul, spirit being falling into the physical existence. Okay, so these mythologies were created so you can understand your existence. All right? Not for you to be afraid of everything, and ultimately to the point where you will disregard your common sense and listen to a government that obviously, especially as so-called black people, doesn't have your best interests at heart. It's rather obvious now. So let me back up from that, get off my soapbox and finish it up and just say that, as you can see, a lot of stuff corresponds to this. It's a few videos within this picture. Be real. So there'll be more. So I'm introducing some of y'all to this geometry. This is what it's about. We need to, like, this is just so you can understand. Now you take this stuff and then you do something with it. You understand what I'm saying? So peace and love. Y'all take it easy.